Welcome to the DIY Pest Control Podcast, where you get the best info for those who want to perform their own pest control. The DIY Pest Control Podcast is brought to you by Nature Pest. Nature Pest has been providing the finest in commercial and residential integrated pest management for structural, lawns, trees, shrubs, and mosquitoes with better control and less contamination at an affordable price. For more info, visit us at naturepest.com.
On problems we can't solve in townhome communities here in Miami because of the calls that we get from really weird stuff that isn't something we can solve. I just got a call from a real estate agent who rents a property here in Kendall, and they got house crickets. And I'm looking at this construction, and like, this house is like perfectly sealed. There's nothing where these guys can get in. So we start talking to us. You're mostly going to see them in the front, and I'm going to show you why I just immediately saw that. It's heavily shaded, but here's the challenge that we have as pest control professionals dealing with HOA single unit rented townhomes in Miami. I know that's a mouthful, but if you understand anything about Miami, it's a 50% rental market. So very, very high rental market for single family homes, townhomes, apartments, condos. People are doing Airbnb rentals like crazy. And the problem is that when I do an HOA, individual unit, where one owner's calling me with a problem, there are things known as the common areas that I can't touch. I can't spray the entire community. I can't spray more than a couple of feet away from that property. And when we're talking about that your front entrance of your house is less than 15 feet of what I can actually apply. So when I open up the front door, the crickets started coming in from the front door. I says, that they're getting in. It probably, the seal is relaxing at night from the heat. It expands during the day. It contracts at night with the cool, and they're just slivering in because I can see light in the corners. I'm going to show you this. This is what's across the street from these townhomes. It's hundreds of acres of nothing. All right, and then here is the front. So what I got, let me show you. Here is the front entrance, and I've got maybe 10 feet this way, and then I got about maybe 10 or 15 feet this way that I can treat. So other than that, I can't treat the area. I can only treat the common area in the front, and then this is a townhome, so it's front and back. There's no sides, there's nothing, and we have to deal with how they're coming across. My suspicion is they're coming from that field. So I can't spray the whole house for no reason, because we're finding them in the bathroom, we're finding them upstairs, but they're finding them dead. Why? They're dying because they're coming into the home, they got nothing to eat and nothing to drink, and they're gonna die. This is what is known as an occasional invader. They've got 4 kids, one in arms, the other one's crawling, and 2 little ones. I'm not going to spray this whole house just to appease somebody, to think that we did something, when the fact is that it's not going to help the client. The deal is spray it outside, spray the common area, come back next week, follow it up, spray it with something else until that population dies down, because they're going to be coming across like soldiers, and there's nothing we can do about this. So this is what we're going to end up doing. We're going to spray outside the property, 10 feet one way to their property line, to the middle of the other property line, and then follow it up next week. We're going to leave glue boards, and yes, glue traps. You say, what is good is that going to do? This is, if you trap it, then we can stop it from breeding. They're not going to breed inside the home. We can catch them. Trapping and exclusion is pest control. The problem is, in this particular situation, I'm not going to spray this whole house for no reason to kill a couple of them coming in. I'm going to try to deal with the problem outside, but I'm limited by law on what I can actually do, how far I can spray. I can't spray the entire community for them at no charge when it's a single unit. So these are the challenges, folks, that we face in HOAs and in rental properties when we're called in to do one unit out of several hundred or several thousand that are in this complex. This is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a spectacular day.
Thank you for listening to the DIY Pest Control Podcast. Please remember that although Franklin Hernandez is a certified and licensed pest control operator in the state of Florida, the content of this podcast is for informational purposes only. You should consult your local and state government or cooperative extension service before performing any pest control service. Remember to always read and follow label directions because the label is the law.